What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of Meathead 101 at the notorious 1Gen gym. We got the 1Gen shirt on right now as well. We're gonna be showing you how to grow some boulder shoulders. First movement we're gonna start off with is lateral raise. Most people, you see them do, I'd say, a few wrong variations. See a lot of people hold them up here and go like this. You don't really get as much activation because it's more of a pendulum style movement. Also, you see a lot of people go completely lateral out to the side. You'll actually feel a little bit more in your traps and rear delt doing it like that. So the lateral head of the shoulder isn't created completely laterally. So we want to have a nice wide angle, like a very wide Y, and we're gonna swing them slightly out in front of us. Still aiming towards the side, but this is gonna isolate the best to your lateral head. And really, to complete a full shoulder workout, which is what we're gonna show you, is building each head of the deltoid. Next, we're gonna hop into doing a rear delt raise. We're gonna show you the best movement for actually growing rear delts. It's not reverse pec deck, it's not cables, it's still, again, gonna be dumbbells. We'll make sure chest is up nice and tight, scapula is retracted. We wanna bend over into an RDL position, letting those dumbbells in front of us. That way, keeping the scapula retracted and the chest up through that movement of doing the rear delts, you're gonna really be only swinging and squeezing through your rear delt. So you're not gonna be activating your trap a lot unless you loosen out those traps and then swing. Then you're gonna be hitting a little bit more than just your rear delt and getting help from your traps. We wanna try and negate to only using the rear delt and not using the traps at all. But those two are your best isolation movements for putting mass on your shoulders. Now, we're gonna go to the number one movement that builds the caps, the front delts, and some lateral head, and that's gonna be your shoulder press. So here we have the max pump shoulder press, set on a wide pendulum where most of the weight is on your shoulders. You wanna make sure your seat and everything is set up correctly. So right here, it's hard for me to get under. My seat's a little too high. It's also just a little bit too forward. So we're gonna go back a little bit, lower that seat down slightly. This way, with how my seat is set up, I can kind of tuck my tailbone in the space between the seat and the upper back pad. That way I can arch a little bit more as well. Also, why we moved the chair back, sure, I could have grabbed the handles, but we also don't want to do it too laterally for this movement either, because we kind of want our triceps, it's not an isolation movement, it's a compound movement. So we want our triceps to be able to help us through the movement of pressing up so we can fatigue as much of the shoulder as possible. And as you notice, when I'm lowering the weight, I'm letting my elbow slightly come forward. When you see people doing presses a lot, they kind of let their elbow roll back. That puts a lot of pressure on the joint of the shoulder and the upper humerus. And we want to be pressing and not feeling much pain on the joint. And especially with doing a compound movement, we want to go back into that overload progression to where we add on weight every set as much as possible until we reach a point of failure. So if you're doing your working sets and you've got 3 sets of 10 after your warm-up set, your last set of 10, you should barely be able to get 10, if not 9 reps, to make sure you're fully fatiguing the shoulder. And that, guys, concludes how to grow boulder shoulders on Meathead 101. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the rest of our page.